So at first, after reading this chapter, I felt a few different emotions. Somewhat a little bit of anger. I felt a little bit annoyed. And I was just kind of like, wait, what? Because if you've been following my reviews lately, I've actually been liking Minerva for being exactly what she's been showing to be. And that's, just this evil, completely doesn't give a fuck bitch. I just want to kill, fight, whatever, I don't care. So coming into this chapter, we get the reason why she is the way she is, why she feels so wicked, why she's so fucked up. And when I first initially finished reading this chapter, I was like, so she pulled a Sting and basically just gave up against Erza. But then I read it a couple different times, and then I kind of got a little bit more of an understanding. At the end of the day, the difference between what Sting did at the Grand Magic Games and what Minerva did is Sting was doing that over a fucking cat. Minerva was tortured, humiliated, and emotionally destroyed by her father. I think there's a huge difference between the two. So starting off the chapter, we get a little bit of symbolism regarding Wendy's maturity. I think the cutting of the hair, even though I felt a little bit like, wait, so you're mature, so you cut your hair, it was nonetheless a symbolic change and a character design change as well, of Hero showing she's not the same little girl that's going to cry and whimper and the world is ending. And I think that that was a good thing in a sense, so it shows she's matured quite a bit. And, in this situation, if it was Wendy before, she'd be there with Carla, what do we do? Looking at Dora and Bolt for advice. This time she's a little bit more mature. I wish we would have got a little bit more of a time skip in the sense of her being a few years older, because then that would have shown, 2 or 3 years she's matured a bit. But nonetheless, at the very least, it shows that the character has grown, and we see character development within her because she's just, she's not the same. She's not cowering in fear right now of face, and that's a very good thing. For a character to show that they aren't the same and they've grown and matured and they feel a lot more confident, that is definitely a good thing. And then we cut to Erza versus Neo Minerva. And for the most part, it just felt like a simple, quick brawl. It's like, Erza's on top of her, punching her in the face. They're hitting each other back and forth. And it just felt like a standard brawl. It didn't really feel like a true, blow to blow, the biggest attack I got versus the biggest attack you got. Again, you could argue that, well, first of all, Erza is tired, and Minerva, she's probably not used to her new demon body, so I guess you can argue that in a sense. And does Minerva really have magic at this point? There's a lot of things you gotta wonder, because if she's a demon now, wouldn't she just have, like, curses and not actual magic? So that makes me wonder as well, is there a possibility of her ever going back to her normal self? And I guess in a way, if I wanted to make a comparison, an interesting thing would be, like, Hunter x Hunter, the character Palm, how she was turned into, like, an ant, and how she basically still retains her memories or whatever. So it just really makes me wonder regarding Minerva as far as what can she do at this particular point. Now, getting the backstory as to why she's fucked up, it makes sense, and in a way it made me appreciate the character in a different aspect, because prior to this, I was just like, Minerva, badass bitch, doesn't give a fuck. Who cares why she's mad? She is mad. Maybe she just got these, fucked up ideals from her father, whatever. But seeing actually the things that he did, Genma, I'm so glad Sting did you in, because you're a fucking piece of shit. That is like, we talk about worse fathers here and there regarding anime fathers. This motherfucker takes the cake. Fuck him, what he did regarding, just upbringing his daughter, saying, hey, if you're weak, I'll kill you. Stop crying. Tears are for the weak. Stripping her butt naked and putting her in the jungle, similar to what he did to Yukino, except Yukino didn't go to the jungle, but he was a fucking piece of shit, and she has every right to be this fucked up. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if she has psychological damage from all this stuff. But the way she just gave up at the end regarding her fight with Erza after, constantly, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna get you. I think one of the reasons why she had a grudge against Erza as well is because that she could see innately that Erza is strong mentally and physically, not just that, she's a strong mage, but she's just a strong girl in general. And I think she was jealous of that. I think a big part of it is definitely just jealousy. I wish I could be like her, strong inside and out and just all around. And her giving up, it was like, I felt a little bit like, I understand she's fucked up and she's just like, I don't want to live anymore. She's just destroyed emotionally, but still, it was like, it felt a little bit disappointing nonetheless. It was like, it's not on the same level as like Sting when he gave up at the Grand Magic Games over a fucking cat or whatever after, building everything up, but I was still disappointed in a certain sense, because it was just like, this has been built up from the Grand Magic Games to the Sun Village arc to now this, her turning into a goddamn demon. It was like, can't we just get a full-on, all-out battle, and then, it goes to that? Because it just felt like a standardized brawl. It didn't feel like either of them were pulling out all the stops. And when Geer came in, I was like, yo, is Mark Geer's about to do what I think he's about to do? Because he came in and he was just like talking about trash, and I think he was mainly referring to Minerva as far as like, oh damn, you know, Celestial Spirit King didn't get rid of all the trash with his blast, let me take care of this. And you see the difference regarding just like Erza and Mark Geer. Mark Geer was just able to like get the fuck out the way. So that definitely is already starting to show how strong Mark Geer is, because you couldn't really gauge how strong he was based on that fight that he had with the Celestial Spirit King, because I guess you can argue, yeah, that shows that he's pretty strong, but the Celestial Spirit King, we don't really know exactly how strong he is. So just seeing him flick Erza out the way, that's kind of a little glance at where Fairy Tail stands against Mark Geer. Of course, you know, there are some times where Natsu will come in and it could be God standing right in front of him and he's like, ah, get the fuck out of the way. So, you know, there's that. But ultimately I was like, okay, she gave up against Erza. Maybe Mark Geer will come in and just fucking get rid of her. But I guess the chapter was really trying to give a message that no matter how fucked up you can be, no matter how bad things can get, you can always end up in a good situation. And with Minerva in particular, it was like, she always had a home. It was with Sabretooth. It was just, you know, she had a fucked up father. So that was trying to symbolize that as, in a way. And again, it was like, it was alright. It just felt to a certain degree, a little bit of disappointment, just because I was really liking Minerva for what she felt like, and it was just plain cut and dry, just evil and pissed off and just a bad bitch. So to come to this, it was like, I get it, and I felt a little bit, I actually felt quite a bit bad, to be honest with you, for what Genma did to her as a child, and it makes all sense, you know, the psychological damage, but just the fight with Erza just didn't feel satisfactory, especially how much build-up we've had to it. And then Sting and Hero coming in, I guess, you know, they need to be introduced at some given point. They seem as though they're characters that Hero is going to have stick around for a while. I just hope that he writes them a lot better than he has in the past, because when I see them immediately, I just start thinking of Grand Magic games, and I just start getting like hived all over my body, you know? But like, I just really hope that they actually have some decency to them now. Like, I hope that Hero can write them in a way where they're actually interesting, because, you know, they're Dragon Slayers at the end of the day. Hopefully they don't have some bullshit, because as soon as they showed up, I'll be quite honest with you, I just started thinking about Grand Magic games. The ending, especially with Sting and everything, I was just like, please, Hero, please don't do this right now. We were on such a roll. Don't bring these motherfuckers in to have them just be crusty as fuck. Let's get some interesting storytelling. Let's get some believable things going on, not just, oh, Sting and Rogue, they have friendship or whatever. Hopefully it's not the case. Just ultimately, it had some good bits to it. It had character development for Wendy in the beginning and Minerva throughout the chapter, just kind of seeing where her character's been to where she's at now. Hopefully we get a little bit more of her in the future. I mean, at this point, fuck out of here if she says, oh, I want to fight you again, Erza. I don't even care after this point if she does. If she gets out of this and says, oh, we'll fight one day again, I don't care to see that fight anymore. I don't. At this point, it's like, you gave up. That's it. Call it a day. You know, blow the whistle, ref. It's done. But I would like to see if she is going to be a good guy at some given point, at least be on like a Vegeta type of level where it's like, yeah, I'm good, but I still don't give a fuck and I'll fuck you up. Something like that. And ultimately, I'll give this chapter 6.5 out of 10. It was fine. It had some good character development, but again, the built-up fight felt a little bit unsatisfactory, as well as just Sting and Rogue coming in at the last minute to save her also felt a little bit cheap and typical, you know, standard Fairy Tail where, oh, we save him at the last moment. But there was still some good bits to it and still some character development amongst all the mess. So, again, 6.5 out of 10, fine for the most part. It's just like, it could have been handled a bit better. Again, I was like, I felt the emotional aspects, but the fight and just her giving up and then say, Let me know what you guys think regarding this fight, Erza versus Minerva. Were you disappointed? What did you think regarding finding out Minerva's backstory? Did you feel sad about it? Do you understand her? Again, I understand completely now. It all makes sense. But giving up, Sting. And what do you think about Sting and Rogue showing up at the last moment? Now it seems they're going to go up against Mark Geer. I hope Mark Geer just like fucking destroys them and throws them away. Either that or they have a strategic plan and they have a really good battle there with Mark Geer, which I don't see happening, but we'll have to wait and see. And just an overall thoughts of the chapter. You get a kick out of it, you get sad, you liked it, disappointed. What did you think? That's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, you can do so as well. That'd be awesome. I'm Minerva World, and as always, people, have an awesome day.